Let's get right into this just massive program-defining win in year one of Kim Caldwell, and that is a victory over UConn. And I don't know why my graphic bugged out there, but you can't see the stats in the bottom right corner. So we're having all sorts of issues today on
Hey,
my end.
it's all good, man. It's on our end, but no, Tennessee. This game right here was to be there, man. That place was loud, dude. There was probably every bit of actually, it probably tells me, but there was probably every bit of like 13 to 14, maybe even 15,000 fans there in attendance for this game. But I have to give a massive shout out to UConn fans. Holy moly, bro! Y'all took over TVA. Like there was a bunch of them, and I give credit where credit's due. I was genuinely surprised at how many UConn fans were in attendance in this game, but it didn't matter at the end of the day. Um, Lady Vols did pretty much what they've done all year long, but this time they finished the game strong, and that's where I think makes all the difference in the world. It was so fun to be there. We hit threes, we got and ones. We didn't really turn the ball over too much. Overall, it's just a very exciting brand of basketball, and what a really good game to be at.
Yeah, man. And you were at this game, correct?
I was, dude. It was so fun. Yeah,
That it was an awesome game, a back and forth game.
it was.
I mean, UConn had a 2-point lead at the end of the first period. Both teams scored 20 apiece in the second, so UConn took a 2-point lead into halftime. Tennessee third quarter has been the defining quarter so far this season, and that third quarter is where Tennessee took the lead and kept it for the rest of the game as they outscored UConn 22-15 in that third quarter. And the fourth, UConn did outscore Tennessee 22-21, but by that point, Tennessee had taken the lead and ends up with the 80-76 victory. And you see there, Z Spearman, she has really come on as of late, man. She is, I feel like she is finally figuring out what her role is. And we talked back earlier about maybe she needs to quit shooting the 3-point shot as much, and she's not shooting as many, but she's picking and choosing wisely. I mean, she only went 1 for 3 from the three in this game, but that 3-pointer that she hit was a big moment in the game. Um, finishes with 16 points, 7 rebounds, and a block shot, 3 of 4 from the foul line, and she's efficient with her shots. 6 of 9 from the floor in this game, most of those being close to the basket. Just a big pickup for Kim Caldwell out of the portal this past offseason for Miami.
Yeah, man. I think in this game, you see Sam Spencer, Z Spearman, Jewel Spear, Ruby Whitehorn, not so much, but in a game where you had Talasia Cooper not have her best game, you've seen everybody for the most part step up. I mean, 4 of your starting 5 ended up in double digits scoring. That's what we need, especially when you're rotating the way Kim Caldwell does, 5 at a time pretty much. I mean, we've got to be seeing multiple, and I mean more than 3 folks in double digits almost every game, because you're not going to be able to rely on 1 or 2 to really take over the game when clearly they're going to get subbed in and out every 2 minutes. So this was a great game where you've seen folks step up to the plate, and it was a massive game. Z Spearman, though, got to be that player. She's one of the biggest girls on the court at all times, and we just got to I'm not going to compare her to Adu, but I feel like when she plays a little bit more physical, she can be really dominant down there in the middle.
Oh, yeah, and she's really playing physical, but not only is she tall and is she physical, she's athletic. She's one of the most athletic people on the court each time she steps foot, and she's really showing that as of late. And, the big stat in this game that jumps out to me that helped Tennessee get the victory, 46 rebounds compared to UConn's 34.
Out-rebounded them.
And, undersized for sure. Tennessee was against UConn, but they were more physical, I felt like, than UConn was throughout the game. And that's what it takes to out-rebound somebody is physicality. Tennessee did that in this game. They did turn the ball over 7 more times in UConn, but they really were able to fend off UConn for the most part throughout this game. And, ended up with 42 points apiece in the paint. Another area of concern that is just ongoing, and we'll talk about it more in the next game as well, those free throw numbers. They almost came back to bite you.
It's on both teams in Knoxville having problems at the stripe. I don't understand that. But yeah, I mean that's quite a bit of a concern. I think one thing that Tennessee did very well though is they defended better than I expected against some of UConn's star players. Kind of held them in check. I mean, they got their points, no doubt about it. But
Yeah.
overall, I felt like they really held their own, and kept some of their star players from really being able to take over the game. In fact, you've seen some of UConn's bench players actually have really good games just because that's what they had to do, really. They weren't in the position where they could take a night off because their stars getting 25, 30 points a game. We kept pretty much everybody in check other than Sarah Strong had a pretty good game with 18 points, but also Paige, is it Bookers?
Paige Beckers.
Beckers, thank you. I can't read in it. The U throws me off in that. Yeah, Beckers. Okay. But yeah, they really held those two ladies in check for the most part, considering what they've been doing for the entire season.
Yeah, absolutely. But kind of going away from the game here, just want to talk about how much this win means not only to Kim Caldwell, but to the Tennessee program in general. I mean, for you and I that's growing up, we had Pat Summitt, and Tennessee they were the program for women's college basketball. I mean, by the time we were probably 8, 9 years old, maybe even 7,
Yeah.
something like that, Pat Summitt had just won her 8th national title, which was unheard of at the time. And then the other team that was really up and coming was UConn under Gino Ariama. So, and these two had many battles. I mean, I heard on the radio earlier this week that they met numerous times, and 4 times alone were in the national title game. Now, unfortunately, Ariama got the best of Tennessee in all 4 of those. But I mean, the Lady Vols and UConn have been doing this for years. Pat Summitt and Ariama, they actually genuinely hated each other. Now, they've respected each other, but they hated each other. And the last time that Tennessee knocked off UConn was in 07. So it's been a long time coming. So not only was this a big win for Kim Caldwell, this was huge for Tennessee in general for this Lady Vols basketball program.
Well, and I'm going to take it a little bit outside the rivalry because the rivalry does mean a lot. But this means a lot for the team itself. I mean, think of the gauntlet that they've been playing. Almost every loss they've had has been a top 10 team other than Vanderbilt. And then it was kind of one of those, prove that you're supposed to be here moment. And they did it. They beat a top 5 team finally under Kim Caldwell. I think it's one of those things where it's a resume builder, kind of proves that you're supposed to be there and that you can hang with anybody in the country, which we already knew that, but you got to go prove it. You got to go finish. And they were able to do that. I think this is what's going to help the Lady Vols and possibly a 4 seed in the tournament, which is kind of huge considering they're probably going to finish like 9th in the SEC. So it's just crazy how it works out like that. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but man, there's not that much in the season left for the Lady Vols, is there?
No, there's not a whole lot. Let me pull up the schedule real quick. As after today, you have got 6 games left in conference play.
So. 6 games left. Yep. But this was just a big win for everybody. I think Kim Caldwell got her moment, in the post game when she said, "I just want to go home and celebrate with my baby boy." It kind of reminded me like a Bobby. No, not Bobby Boucher. It reminded me of the game plan. Remember the father after the game, and he's like, "I just want to go home to see my daughter." Like that. That's what that moment reminded me of. It was pretty cool. But to see TBA at the Food City Center or Food City Center at TBA, however you want to say it, but to see that place rocking the way it was when that final buzzer went off and we won, nobody moved. I mean, you would expect to see a wave of people just leaving, and that's not at all what it was. Everybody stayed there, enjoyed the moment, enjoyed the big win and the first one under Kim Caldwell.
Yeah, awesome. And you got any other thoughts on this game?
No, man, it was just great to see everybody play together. I mean, nobody really took over the game, but nobody really, took the night off either. We played as a team, played under control, and you see what happens when we do that. I mean, I could kind of nitpick the defense here and there on a couple of possessions, but overall, man, this was a great game for the ladies.